Hi, Lakiba. It's so wonderful to see you. It's been many years, it seems, 5 or 6, I guess, since the Fireside Chat.
Yeah,
Welcome.
yes. Good to see you.
So good to see you. You look just stunning as always. You're glowing. What have you been up to the last 5 years? And how are you staying above water and joy-filled in these times of just massive change?
Wow, good question. Well, I've gone back to school. I'm getting my doctorate, so I'm busy in the doctoral journey. I'm also teaching at three colleges and universities and continuing to do kind of community work, healing work. Um, yeah, so I've got a lot going on today.
So, with you teaching at three different places, I'd love that you have your heart and your influence in the minds and the hearts of these students. Again,
Mhm.
especially with what's happening in today's world, that to have someone just light-filled like you impacting students just gives me that hope that, I think all of us could use. What are the topics that you're teaching, and what might you inspire us with from those topics today?
Oh, great question. Well, I'm teaching cultural expressions in media. That's one of the courses. I'm teaching race and racism at one college, race and ethnicity at a different university. And I'm teaching diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging in the workplace. We're still calling it that currently. As you probably know, there's backlash against DEI initiatives and programs, but at all of the colleges and universities where I'm teaching, we still feel the underlying um, point of those courses is still relevant and needed today. Teach a course on transition to college. So, new students, freshmen coming in, get kind of an introduction, I'd say,
That's beautiful
to
work. Yeah.
college. And then I met you with the Center of Compassion at Stanford. And so I still teach compassion courses. I have a compassion workshop coming up at later in about a month through the Compassion Institute, and also a mindful compassion course planned to be offered through Stanford's Healthy Living. So I would say underlying now that I've said all of that, I think the fact that I'm teaching, I'm still offering my insider knowledge or wisdom kind of helps me stay somewhat, excuse me, somewhat positive in light of all of the things that are currently going on that can make one feel restricted, depressed, even hopeless. And so I'd say I'm glad to be able to use tools that I've learned personally to kind of manage daily or ongoing stressors. And then I'm able to support others in doing that.
And I think
But
what
I have my down days.
we all have our down days. And what I'm hearing you saying is that you have collected enough tools in your toolbox that you can pretty consistently. I think we can say that for all of us, that the goal is to pretty consistently be able
Mhm.
to lift ourselves out of any
Mhm.
emotional hole we might get into so that we can return to being our best. We can't help other people out if we are lacking the energy and the hope and the self-compassion that allows us to show up in a helpful way. So thank you for the work you do, especially in the self-compassion, because what we're
Sure.
learning from even neuroscience is that if we accept that we are a victim in some way, shape, or form, whether it be of discrimination in any kind, it will potentially turn off our motivation. That if we accept that we are in any way a victim of circumstances, our motivation can turn off by something called the habenula that I've been more and more interested in. Dr. Kyra Bobinet talks about it. So, how can we use words that lift us up, that make us not a statistic, but rather a sovereign being that understands that my words and what I believe matters? That I'm no longer going to believe that I'm going to have a difficult time being a woman in the workplace.
Yeah.
I'm going to create a workplace where women like me can thrive. And so, how do we change the goal to be one where we're lifting each other out of that place of
Mhm.
any kind of discrimination to understand the power that we have to choose our future?
Yeah, I think that's it. And it's not turning a blind eye to all of what's happening. For me, it has multiple aspects, meaning I do the things that have worked for me to mitigate the impact of life's stressors.
Mhm.
And we're certainly in a time today where you can't ignore what's happening. And so you may have family challenges, you may have community challenges, there may be challenges in your neighborhood, in your city, in your state, in your nation, in the world. And on some level, you're probably picking up on that. And so I have found that I have to have ways to ground myself, things to enjoy. I love gardening. I love walking my dog. So I do have almost rituals, daily things that I do to ground myself and take care of myself. And then I also teach others how to do so. But at the same time, I feel a call to somewhat address issues that are out there. So I'm not kind of, as people say sometimes, just sitting on my cushion and reciting a mantra. That can be a part of my life. It is a part of my life and many people's lives. But I, from a really young age, have also been out in the community and being and serving wherever I can because some people are experiencing a tougher life than I am. And so I'm working on myself, my friends, my family. I'm serving my students and people in the community. And then I'd say, somewhat on another level, um, I'm looking at systemic uh, concerns,
Mhm.
systemic and historical things, and with other people talking about how do we work at the root of the problems and the issues so that the fruit is clean and pure and healthy, right? So, for example, I serve an organization, Life Moves, that serves the unhoused. So I offer workshops for people that are basically on the front lines. And they're doing some tough work, right? They're not exactly like sitting in their home doing yoga postures. I mean, they might be doing that, but they're really out on what I consider the front lines. And so part of my work is supporting people that are on the front lines. It could be healthcare workers, um, people that are serving the unhoused, could be educators. Yeah, I just feel a call to, yes, create a bit of a sanctuary in my own life, but how can I share some of the tools and things that I do? How can I be in conversation with other people? How can I be in community with other people when there's a vibe of kind of separating people? So that's making me want to get closer to people. So I'm trying to address it in a variety of ways, I guess I would say.
I love that. And I love the multidimensionality of it that you are. I'm going to say you're like a lantern. You're shining that light in all the different places in your life. And my view is that it's making your light shine brighter because it's also giving back to you. And I can hear it in your words how thoughtful you are for the communities that you're serving. So thank you because the work is being
Yeah,
done, it has to be done on the front lines. And those who are doing the work on the
right.
front lines get very tired because it's a lot of work. So thank you for the work you do
Exactly.
to help sustain others. And I
Mhm.
believe, and this is one of the things that I'm coming back to on and on, is that a whole idea that we have to fill our cup first. And you're doing that with your daily practice. You're doing that with the interactions you're having, with what you're attuning your mind to. It sounds like you're a little like me
Mhm.
in that I'm I want to know what's happening in the world. I want the good, the bad, and the ugly, but I have to dip my toe in at a rate that I can integrate it and not topple my sovereignty. That it's not going to be too much for me to take in at any time,
Right.
that I can keep myself in a balanced place, understand more and more, be curious. That curiosity keeps us, what I like to call above the line. I think you've probably heard me talk about being above the line in a place of creativity and gratitude and hope rather than getting triggered and
Mhm.
finding myself below the line in a place where all I can do is protect myself. And I don't want anymore to be in a place that I'm worried about my own self-protection when the world seems to be shifting in such a way that others need some help digesting what's happening. So thank you that you're continuing
Right.
to take care of yourself first because we're learning that's not selfishness. It's adding love to the world. When we don't take care of ourselves, when we get burned out, we are adding toxic nature to the world. We are adding our anger, our sadness, our complaints, our victimhood to an already overspiced pot. And when we can calm ourselves down and show up in a present way, then we can calm the spice down just a little bit so that the world isn't on fire. And that's what I see you able to do
Yeah.
is to bring that example of your own self-compassion and show others that they can be with you in that place of calm.
Yes. That's the goal, I would say. And of course, life happens. So I'm not saying that I'm, bubbly and celebrating and cheery every moment of every day. that's not real life. But I do feel that there are practices and people have different things. Some people go to church, some people read their sacred scriptures, some people are very attached to nature, go for walks or the beach, walk their dogs, their pets. I'm just saying people have to find something and really dig into it, uh, call it in on a daily basis, especially when there are multiplying stressors that are going on, because it doesn't really make the stress go away. But it does kind of create some space between you and the stress.
Yes. And it gives you an
So
opportunity.
that's what I'm trying.
Good. Sorry, we missed a little connection there, but before we go, I do want people to know that those who are listening that you have a book, and we talked about it with the Fireside Chat last time, but I love the title, and I'd love for you to share that. I think you have a copy there, and tell us a little bit about.
Okay. Okay, I'm actually working on a second edition, but it's called, oops, Breadcrumbs from the Soul.
Love it.
And the byline is finding your way back home. It's that premise that Hansel and Gretel put down the breadcrumbs so that they could get back home. And they did get lost and they did have to follow the breadcrumbs back home. It's that metaphor, I guess I would say. And so I think in my life, and probably somewhat in everyone's life. You kind of have it together. You're on a trajectory. You're confident. You're moving forward. You're kind of rational or in touch with your rational mind. And then all of a sudden, you're lost. Like you were traveling down the road and maybe you made a turn and all of a sudden you don't know where you are or you're in doubt. And that used to happen to me. But I started seeing that because I had gone from here to there successfully in the past, that successful traveling left breadcrumbs. It left clues as to how I can come back home. And what does that mean? Come back to myself, come back to my knowing, come back to my belief in who I am and the sovereignty of who I am and the purpose of who I am. And so the book includes stories from my life. And I actually included some of my art. I don't know if you can see that. So I
Yes,
have some of my art that's included and just stories from my life that kind of show times when I've gotten off course. And I'd say the stories in here are the breadcrumbs, how I came back kind of to myself. And I hope I continued writing after I did this. And so I'm coming out hopefully by the end of this year with a second edition, including what's here, but adding on some more stories, hoping to encourage other people.
I love that. And I believe that this book that you've written is the time is right for it. I believe there are a lot of us in the world who have lost our way, that we've forgotten who we are
Mhm,
at our core.
mhm,
And
mhm,
if you can help guide people back with that book, what a powerful testament. Because I do believe that when we remember who we are outside of the labels and the heaviness of the world, that we learn to find joy and fly again.
Exactly.
So I'm not sure what that little thumbs up is, but it is a thumbs up for me.
I know.
So we'll give a
It
double thumbs up,
just
see if it'll do my little
appeared.
but no, it is. It feels like such a timely book, and I'm excited that you're doing, coming out with your second one, a remake, because I know it'll have even more wisdom. I know for me, I've become a grandma in 2024, and it gives me a new insight of how I want to be in the world, how I want the world to be for my grandson, to find a world where we love people for who they are and the inside and the care and the compassion they give for themselves and others. That's the world I want to live in. And I want him to be able to grow up in. So thank you for the work you do with those on the front line. Thank you for the work you do in rewriting this book that is a gift for those who are finding their way this year. So thank you.
Thank you so much. I can really relate to being a grandparent. I am as well. And you made me realize that even though I'm teaching in academic settings, and of course we have academic goals, and we want people to graduate, and if they want to go on to higher education or maybe get a job, yes, that is a goal. But I'm also trying to open hearts as well as minds. And so that's always my uh, motivation, that I want to contribute to a level of consciousness where my students move out into the world with knowledge and an open heart so that they care about the people that they serve or that they work for, including the products they make, that there's some insight there as well. So that's my overarching goal.
Oh, thank you for that. And I knew there was a reason we had to talk again, and that we would, find the humanness in all of this. And I'm thankful that I'm on this journey with you. I hope we'll have more conversations, because the world will continue to shift. And I so appreciate you being on the front line, supporting those who are making a difference in the world. Thank you.
I really appreciate you too. Thank you so much for reaching back and connecting with me in this new future.
New future. Love that.